this morning, and we're also excited that we have our presenter today. Her name is Jordanne Wells, and she is a senior engineer at a top Fortune 100 company, speaker, and certified financial educator who has been featured on Good Morning America, CNBC, the HuffPost, Time Magazine's personal finance subscription, the Next Advisor, and many other sites. She's the founder of Wise Money Woman, and Win After College, companies dedicated to helping women and college graduates gain the skills to be successful in money, career, and life. She leads workshops and seminars for colleges and organizations on financial wellness and personal and professional development. With a passion for empowering women and inspiring people, especially young individuals, toward positive change, she's always happy to share her triumphs and failures to help them win at whatever they choose. If you were participating in the Mason Symposium for 2023, you probably stumbled on her presentation, which was phenomenal, and we thought that she would be a great addition to this year's pool series, the powerful Unmistaken Legacy Leaders sessions. We're excited for her, and please note that when she completes her presentation, if you put your questions in the chat, we'll address them at that time. Jordanne, we're very excited to hear what you have for us today, and the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. I will go ahead and share my screen.
Are you having problems sharing your screen? Okay. There we go.
Able to see my screen.
Awesome. Okay. Yes.
Perfect. All right. A quick second. The button tried to hide. Okay. So today I'm going to be explaining why cultivating grit, as we will define it, leads to more confidence, leads to undeniable peace, and makes us being able to finally take action, not just possible, but basically inevitable. So what I'll suggest to you today took me from being a person who could not keep a commitment to myself. I was regularly in this cycle of getting motivated enough to actually start doing something, but then not staying motivated enough to actually finish it. I'd always fall off the wagon. I was tired of feeling sick and tired about my situation all the time, but never seeming to move forward enough to actually be able to get out of the situation I was in. And then I was able to get from that to finally feeling confident that I could be the person that I wanted to be, that I could do the things I wanted to do, and I could have the things that I wanted to have, and that I could be someone that's not only ready for obstacles and challenges and all the uncertainty of life, but to also be excited for them. And these things that we're going to talk about today, these attitudes, are not just something that only works for specific instances. I was able to use it to pay off over $30,000 of credit card debt in a year. I was able to triple my net worth, and I was able to create more deep and meaningful relationships with my partner and with my children and just with people in general and my family. So this isn't some magic pill that is just going to fix everything, but it is a new approach on an old idea. So here's the thing. We all have things that we want to achieve. We have goals, we have plans, we have things that we're called to do, but for whatever reason, we just don't seem to hit it. And we know that there are lots of people who are having this because there are nearly 40% of US adults have made New Year's resolutions. And even though we know that most of them don't make it this long, but people are still making New Year's resolutions. We all want to do better. There is a multi-billion-dollar industry that's dedicated to self-improvement. And then there are over 15,000 books that are written every year on self-improvement and self-help. So of course, we can always kind of argue with, well, what are the research methodologies and what are all the pieces that are put into that? So we can argue that all day, but really, we can't deny that the bottom line is still all of us have things that we want that we haven't reached. But the most important question is why? So why, with all the goal setting, with all the help, with all the resources, that we are still struggling? But before we can talk about the why, I need to ask you a question. Do I have your permission? What I'll submit to you here is going to challenge some of the ideas that you might have had since you were young, might have challenged what your parents told you. It is going to upset some of what you've been told and believe up to this point. And so I have to ask you if I have your permission to challenge your perspective and to change the way that you see something. So just like in the airplane, when they have you sitting in the emergency row, that you have to kind of verbally say yes. So I would love for you all to just put a Y in the chat to just let me know that we are clear to take off and to change some of these ideas. So I am seeing some yeses. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's get started. So culture tells us that we can achieve anything. They tell us the American dream, that all you need to do is to just work hard. So you are only limited by your ability to work hard, your own willpower, and your own discipline, your own moral. You work hard and you will get it. And while the reason behind the sentiment is to inspire us that things are possible, which is great, but it also kind of warps us into this belief that everything that you need to do just requires you to do more. If you want anything, you just need to do more. And if you don't have it, it's because you're not doing enough, because you aren't putting in enough willpower. It's because you're not disciplined enough to get it. It's because you're not working hard enough, because you haven't reached where you want to reach, because basically you aren't good enough. And as expected, our response to that is, well, I'm just going to do more. So we will pick up whatever productivity hacks and tricks. We love to hear these things. If someone says bullet journaling is going to do it, if waking up at 3 a.m. is going to do it, if I need to exercise in the middle of the day and stand on one leg and jump around, if that's what it takes, then we're going to do it. So now we're all walking around trying to live our best lives and doing all these activities that may or may not be in line with what we actually want. So we are doing these things. We're bearing down, we're pushing harder, we're gritting our teeth. We are doing all these things in this name of what we kind of determine to be grit. So we say that having grit is what it takes for us to be successful. And grit, as we know it, and if you guys have heard it, like tell me in the chat too, like you've heard, it's more discipline, more determination, toughness. You got to work hard. You got to hustle, grind. You can sleep when you're dead. You need to have no fear. This is just pushing through, bulldozing everything. When we think of grit, we think of it as being obsessive, like it's this intense outburst of action. And if you're not putting in everything, if you're going to bed at a reasonable hour, it's that you don't want this bad enough. And so you don't deserve it. But here is the truth. Grinding and pushing through and gritting your teeth and hustling hard, all of those things can work for a very short time. It's like going on a sprint or sitting down and finally getting your taxes done when it comes down to tax season. You kind of just have to sit there and just do it. It's a very, very, very short period of time. But that way isn't sustainable for if you're trying to start a business, if you're trying to be a better spouse, if you are pursuing your goals, if you are trying to build a network of supportive people who you can lean on when you need to make a change. That will take months, if not years, for you to work on. And gritting your teeth is only going to get you to a place where all of the progress that you make, you end up injuring yourself. Physically, relationships, mentally, emotionally, all of that work of being constantly on edge, of always having that full-on adrenaline rush to work, that doesn't work for going the long term. So you can ask me how I know about that, right? But we do it because that's what we've been told to believe, that this is what it is. And when we see other people, that's what they're telling us as well. But here's the thing, grit is not what we think it is. Dr. Angela Duckworth literally wrote the book on grit. She's a psychologist who dedicated her studies to studying grit. She brought the concept of grit to the public, providing evidence that talent and luck aren't all that's meant for succeeding in a challenging institutional context. She defined grit as passion and perseverance over a long time. So passion means your sense of purpose, and your perseverance means you can stick with it for a long time, even when things go south. So Angela Duckworth further suggests that grit is about having what some researchers call an ultimate concern, a goal you care about so much that it organizes and gives meaning to almost everything that you do. And grit is holding steadfast to that goal, even when you fall down, even when you screw up, even when progress towards that goal is halting or slowing. So we know from what Dr. Duckworth says in her findings that that striving narrative of that struggle, fight vigorously, that's what striving means, that pushing hard doesn't fit for what she has found in her research. And then that begs the question to us that if what we think grit isn't really what it is, and what the folks who study it have found that's not really what works, because nothing in what she said about pursuing passion and perseverance, nothing in perseverance says bear down, grit hard, push hard forever and ever and ever and ever, right? That is a long haul situation, and push hard doesn't work. More determination doesn't work if you have other things going on. So we need to kind of change that view on what we think about in terms of grit so we can more align with what can actually work and what they actually have found from the research. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my story. So for me, when I was 17, my parents sent me off to college in the States, and I came here with my suitcase. It was full of clothes, and my parents, who were not college graduates, basically told me that we got you as far as we could, and you're gonna need to get yourself the rest of the way. So I didn't know anything about how to manage your money. I didn't know anything about credit. I did not even know that I was supposed to keep my social security number a secret. Like my college roommate had to tell me. My parents did not know, and they couldn't share it with me because they didn't know anything. And needless to say that I learned many, many lessons the hard way from being there on my own, from getting student loans with ridiculous interest rates that I did not understand, and then finally being able to graduate, and then getting myself in more issues, just trying to survive and figure out how to rent an apartment and buy a car and all those things. But I had my motivation spark, which I would have to tell you a different story. But I had my motivational spark that made me realize that I needed to do better, that just paying my bills and making sure that everything was taken care of and paying my debts was not enough. And so I started reading more, and I started learning from personal finance folks. How can I get better, right? But all the experts I was reading were telling me that, I was dumb with my money, and that's how I ended up in this situation. They didn't even know me, and they were saying that if I had all this debt, I must be a chronic spender. I must be a person who just wastes energy buying garbage and stuff that doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to keep up with the Joneses. And to be honest, I was just trying to live. Like I wasn't buying expensive purses and going on vacations. I was just buying food and trying to figure out how to navigate a salary with student loans. And they told me basically that all my financial failures were an indication of my moral failures, because I couldn't control my impulses, I couldn't control my desires. And before I knew it, I started to make these deficiencies that they were saying I had, which they didn't even know me, become my personality traits. So suddenly I started thinking these things like, well, some people are just good at money, and I guess I'm just not. And I am so scared of all these things that can happen. Like if I end up with my tire exploding or something, I always felt like I was just one bad step away from terrible things to happen to me. I felt like if I was struggling, it was because I wasn't good enough. It was because I wasn't good at my money. And if I was good at money, then it would be easier. And I just needed to figure it out. And then I thought that everybody else has their stuff together. I'm the only one who apparently doesn't, right? And then all the setbacks, every time I would try to follow their task of super budgeting and keeping every single dollar and never buying anything nice for myself. And if I just put every dollar towards the debt, then it would be fine. But when something happened, like a birthday or unexpected expense came up, then it would blow up my budget. And it was like, see, you are a failure. It's just like they said, you can't even keep a budget. And it just constantly beat me down until eventually I just stopped trying. I was like, this is my life and this is how it's going to be. And I'm going to die with this debt, and I just need to get comfortable with it. So I had tried their shame and their guilt and the tough love version of, how to motivate yourself into trying to be harder. But I realized that that wasn't working for me. first it kind of made me think, oh yeah, and maybe I can do this, I can get out of debt. But then as I continued, the constant shame and the guilt of you're not doing enough, you're not being enough, you are not enough, ended up starting to demotivate me. And then instead of helping, it started hurting. And I realized that we can't beat ourselves down into a higher level of thinking. There is no way that shame and guilt is going to help you to be at a better sense of self. It can start out making you want to do better, but it can't last forever. And so it ends up doing the opposite. And I needed a softer way. I needed to show myself compassion and grace. And I started working on that, to have gratitude for my circumstances, that yes, I was in a lot of debt, but that was what I needed. Like, I needed the debt to finish school. And by getting the debt, I was able to finish school. I was grateful that somebody trusted me enough to give me the debt in the first place. And I started moving away from that striving view of, I just need to push. And if I'm not pushing, then I'm useless, or I'm unproductive, or I'm not doing what I need to do. And then I started moving to that stride way of thinking, which is walking with long, decisive steps in a specific direction. So it was no more of just, let's just try and do stuff and see what happens. Let's do all these things. Oh, the new thing that came out, we should do that. No more of that. That meant that I needed to do less working hard at everything, hoping something would stick, and start being strategic, focusing on my internal work. What do I need? Sure, tough love might work for some of those people, but that doesn't work for me. What are the stuff that I need right now to be able to move forward? And that's when I started changing what I was saying to myself. All the gurus were telling me that I needed to beat myself up, that I royally screwed up to end up in debt and trashing my credit. And I started changing how I was talking to myself. I started believing that I was worthy of what I wanted. I needed to forgive myself for the part that I had played in my current circumstances. And even though I wasn't really where I wanted to be, I needed to believe that I was worthy of being able to have the things that I wanted, just because of me being a person. My decisions that I had made did not define who I was, and it didn't say who I am. And so I started to think, well, if I'm going to be compassionate with myself, might it be helpful to think that I already have what I need to get what I am called to do or called for? And whatever I don't have, I can get it. So this isn't like some magic woo-woo, like, hey, just believe that you can do this and that it's just here. That's not what we're talking about. It's believing that we can improve, that I could learn about money, that I could become better at money, that I wasn't good at money in that moment, but it was just a period of time I was in right now, that I could do better at it, that basically anything that I really wanted to do, I could get reasonably proficient at it. Maybe I was not going to be the best person at it, but I could get a little bit better. I could function at it a little bit better. If I didn't have it, it was okay, because I could get there. And what I didn't know was that I was starting to develop what Dr. Carol Dweck calls a growth mindset. So your growth mindset is a belief that promotes the idea that all aspects of yourself can grow. It can evolve and it can improve over time with effort, no matter where you are starting from. And that was huge for me, to believe that no matter how bad I'm in right now, that I could get even a little bit better, right? And that is a key ingredient in developing what Duckworth also described grit to be, that having that growth mindset germinates your potential, because it lets you believe that you can actually sprout and grow into more. And once I started changing how I viewed myself and how I was talking to myself, everything became possible. I was confident, not because of where I was right now, but because of what I could grow into. So everything became possible. So skills, no problem. That's just, a result of hard work. I can get more skills, no problem. I needed to get more skills to reach something, no problem. I can learn that. That is not an issue. Challenges, I expect them and I eat them for breakfast. Like, it's a part of the journey. Challenges are going to come up and I'm okay with it, because it's a part of growing. Everything was fuel for growth. So effort didn't mean that I was stuck. Effort didn't mean that I wasn't good at something. It is required for mastery. It's a part of the process, right? Setbacks, I was no longer discouraged by them because, hey, if I was working the budget and it didn't work here, that's fine. We're going to just keep going. I needed to be flexible. I needed to adapt to what was happening, and I loved it. When it was hitting goals, the outcome was no longer my main goal. Like the goal wasn't just, oh, well, if I hit it, then that's when I'm successful. That's when I'm worth it. Then I can live my life. There was no more then. It was, this is the process. This is the path of where I was trying to get to. My worthiness was not defined by the outcome at this time. It wasn't defined by where I was in the moment. I just needed to stay dialed in to the process. And as long as I stayed dialed in, then the outcome was going to come eventually. So this is the deal. We're changing how we're viewing the word grit, what it means, what it takes. And we have some good news and some bad news. So would you like the good news first, or would you like the bad news first? You just put it in the chat. I don't know if you are eat your vegetables first and then have your dessert, or have your dessert first. But okay, I see. All right, the first one, Erin says bad news first. So we'll go with bad news first. So the bad news first is that this, when it comes to growth mindset, is all in your head, right? It's everything that you believe. There is no magic bullet. There is no someone that's going to just tell you the secret and this is going to change everything. It's all up here. So that is the bad news. But the good news is that it's all up here, which means everything that you need to do is on you. So we can start out with the growth mindset. When it comes to changing your mindset, it's all on you, right? So you can start changing the way how you talk to yourself. You can start changing the way that you think about yourself. And it's something as simple as just changing your statements. Things like, I can't do this, just add a three-letter word at the end of that. So instead of being, I can't do this, it can be, I can't do this yet. I'm not good with talking to people. I'm not good with people yet. Or I can get better at talking to people. I can get better. Just believing that you can actually get better starts something inside you to say, hey, well, what do we do now? So if you want to learn more about growth mindset, if you haven't already, you can check out Carol Dweck's TED Talk. It's actually very good. I totally suggest that you should check it out. It's a really good listen, so you should absolutely check it out. But while I love growth mindset, and that's the first part in what we're thinking of with grit, truth is, mindset alone is not enough. It's really not. We can think that we're able to achieve things, but reading a book about driving and actually driving, we know are two different things. They're crazy people on the road. You need to be more defensive. You can't just read a book and think that you can get up and do it. And that was what would happen to me. I would get the mindset part, and then I would go to these webinars, these seminars, I read books on motivation and all these things, and I would leave with pages and pages of notes, pages and pages of positive thoughts, great things that I wrote down that I wanted to keep track of, and it was great. But just days afterwards, I would go back to my regularly scheduled program as soon as something came up that stopped me in my tracks, some obstacle, whether it was in my mind or something around. And a lot of times I just couldn't, I could just get the energy to start it, but once I hit these things, it would just thwart all my plans. And here's the problem with that, that there are real obstacles out there that we are encountering out there and in here, that some of them are roadblocks and some of them are anchors. And it's just like with an elastic band that you pull on a slingshot and you pull it all the way back and there's all that potential. If you don't move your finger, nothing is happening. And that's what it's like with some of these obstacles that we face. So you might just want to believe that it's going to be fine, but it's not. And some folks will think, or they'll tell you, I would listen to these speakers sometimes or listen to the audiobooks, and it would kind of give me this sense of, well, if I just believe that it's going to be fine, then it's going to be fine. Or that these barriers are just going to melt away. Nobody ever really said that, hey, you better expect obstacles are going to show up. Roadblocks, they slow you down because it takes time, it takes money, it might take cultivating knowledge or relationships to be able to get there. But some of these barriers are like anchors and they stop you in your tracks. And here are some examples of them. So in roadblocks, a lot of those are the ones that are in black. They're kind of technical barriers usually. It's like you need some time, you need a tool, a trick, a hack, something that might be able to help you to overcome when this happens. They slow you down, but they don't stop you. Anchors, the ones that are in white, like these. Anchors, on the other hand, really do cause you to feel like you can't move forward. Things like lacking clarity that will get you confused and makes you end up not doing anything at all. Things like shiny object syndrome, where the allure of new stuff. So you start something and then you end up moving on to something else before you actually get there. Lack of hope. Like if you don't believe that it's possible, you're not going to put in the energy and effort of what it takes to actually push through or push past that barrier. And these will rear their ugly heads. And all of them might not work for everyone. Like some people might have some obstacles and some folks don't. But by not sharing that these things do happen, like you need to expect that your brain is going to bring things up, because this is hard. When you're changing and doing something and taking action, you're moving out of your comfort space. And your brain is going to sometimes tell you that, hey, you sure you want to do this? This could be scary. And you need to be prepared for how you're going to handle them. So that brings us to attitude 2. That is that dirty little secret that folks don't want to share, that some serious obstacles, some are homegrown within our heads, and that we need to recognize them. We need to be prepared for them. I know it doesn't sound good to tell you that, yes, you can take action and yes, you can grow. But then I have to tell you that, hey, these things are going to happen. And you need to be aware of what your triggers are. You need to be able to know when something is going to come up. For instance, if I know that when it came onto my money, that if I looked in my wallet or I looked in my bank account and I saw that there was a lot of money in there, I was going to spend. I knew that was a problem for me. And so what I did was that I made a plan so that as soon as I got paid, the funds went straight and paid the credit card bill when I was working on my debt. I had to pay it right away. If I left it in the account and looked at it and thought about it and left it to me to make the decision if I was going to do it, I probably wasn't going to do it. So I ended up making sure that I knew this was going to happen and I was prepared for it. So that brings us to building resilience. So that's the other part that we need when we're thinking about this new way of viewing grit. That challenges our opportunities in disguise. That's what our growth mindset helps us with. And building resiliency by looking at how we think, how we act, and how we react to various situations and preparing for that behavior is what's going to help us to stay the course. So as we know problems come up, we're looking for the triggers that might end us up in a road that we don't want to go, and then we're making plans to move around them. But again, truth is that defense alone doesn't win games. So I don't play any sports. And the only sport I did when I was in high school was run track. So totally different game. But you get the idea that defense alone doesn't win games. You need offense too. So it's great to be able to plan for the problems we know are going to happen, especially the ones that are homegrown that we come up with. But we also need to actually move forward. So think about this. So we have this chart that's kind of life without grit. So we have our energy, our drive, our inspiration, motivation on this side. And on this axis, we have time. So as time goes on, we are measuring our energy level and our inspiration. So let's say our normal effort is this yellow line. So 50%, we're going to work, doing the things that we need to do. So let's say you have a motivating spark. So something happens that makes you realize you want to do something different. And then you get really excited, you're putting in all this energy and all this effort, and then we end up with this roadblock that happens. Let's say you just have negative thoughts. You just don't know how to do it, right? So you get this roadblock, and then when we hit with this roadblock, if we don't have any resiliency, we have no plan for how we're going to handle it, we might fall down to here. So we're below our normal effort level, and now we're kind of at this new spot. But we're working on it. We're not discouraged, and we're still kind of working on getting better, and we're adding in more effort, and we're getting back to normal. Well, let's say something now happens that's an anchor. So let's say you're someone in your family that you really respect their information, you really respect their advice, says something like, hey, you really think you're going to be able to do this? This is a bad idea, or something that demoralizes you. and drops you down. So you end up in an anchor and you end up in this negative workspace now. So this space here is where you are no longer making progress towards your goal, but now you're actually making negative progress. So think of when you are working out and you're trying to lose weight, and then you're trying to put on muscle or whatever you're trying to do, and you end up with something that discourages you, like you get injured or you get sick or something, and then you fall into this space where you are no longer even moving forward. Now you're actually doing bad stuff. I am a stress eater. So when I get very stressed, I can definitely end up in this negative space. And without grit, as we're defining it now, that new definition, we end up in this space here where it might take us a lot longer for us to be able to move forward. And then look at all of the effort that it takes here for you to get back to just being normal, right? So without planning, without any preparation for being resilient, we end up with these huge spikes, like lots of energy, then lose lots of energy, then get back up here, and then we're down here, and we're going through. And this, I don't know for you, but this is exhausting to me. This is a lot of doing great, then starting over, then having to get back to normal. This is a lot. But compare it to a life where if we are implementing this new view of grit. So we still have this normal effort at 50%. We still have our negative space down here if we're going below 0. But let's say we have our motivating spark and we're moving up. Now we have systems that we're having in place. This is intentional action that we're putting in place to make sure that even when we are doing just the regular amount, or even when we don't want to do anything, we still have systems and actions in place that are making us still make steps forward. We have our resiliency that's sitting at the bottom, right? So we start working hard, we get our motivational spark, we hit a roadblock, we fall down a little bit, that's fine. But guess what? We're not going all the way down here. We have tools in place. We have a plan for what we're gonna do when we get hit with obstacles. So we drop down here and we're going below normal effort, that's fine. And then we hit an anchor just like we did before. But when you hit your anchor, instead of falling all the way down and getting to 0, again, your plan for how you're going to be resilient. This might be your support group, the friends that you hang out with. It might be putting in habits that are going to be able to help you to stay on course. I think someone wrote in the chat, Atomic Habits. It is a fantastic book. You should absolutely pick it up and read it, or borrow the audiobook, whichever you like to do. It is a great book on talking about creating good, healthy habits, right? And having that resiliency at the bottom that keeps that boundary, so you can't go too low where you end up into negative space. And then your systems helps you to still stay in this block here, so that you're not going to end up having to exert a whole ton of energy to be able to see progress. So the fluctuations here are not as high, right? Because we have our systems in place. And for me, when I was working on paying down my debt, my systems in place was, one, that the funds needed to go directly to pay off the debt as soon as possible because I did not want to see it. 2, I started creating a plan, a budget for myself that says every day I want to spend no more than this. But if I do end up spending less than that, then just take that funds and pay the debt. So I was making $2 payments, $1 payments. If I went to the vending machine, I was going to spend $1.50 and they didn't have my Doritos, then I would just take those funds and pay on the debt. I did not care. That was my plan for making intentional steps towards what I wanted to do. It helped me to stay consistent. The systems that I created during that time helped me to be intentional and to stay consistent even when I didn't even feel like doing it. And that leads us to attitude 3, that intentional action transforms your efforts into investments. So whatever you are doing, when you have those systems, because let's be real, motivation does not last. You might feel exceedingly motivated right now, and then you know that life is going to happen. Kids, work, all these things happen, and having those systems in place to help you to keep doing intentional action, even when you don't feel like it, is what transforms all of that effort into an investment. And an investment is something where you put funds in and you expect to get a return. So this is not, oh, we're going to put it in and kind of see what happens. We're expecting a return. So we know that we will move forward on the outcome and we will get closer as long as we keep doing the needful. So that brings us to part 3 of thinking of that cultivating grit, changing how we view it. We've talked about growth mindset to believing that you can improve. We've talked about resiliency, which means that you need to plan for obstacles, expect that they're going to happen, make a plan, be on the lookout for them, and execute your plan. And then intentionality means being deliberate, doing actions on purpose, expecting a return from your actions. So don't just pick things. So our intentional actions isn't just, well, let's just pick something and do it. This is also being intentional with what you're choosing, that it is aligned with what you want. There's no point that in saying that you're going to be intentional with running every day so you could run a marathon. If you know you hate marathons, if you don't like running, it's not going to be beneficial to you to make an intentional action that's going to be harder for you to execute. We want things where when we're not in the mood, when we don't feel like it, when it's cold outside, when we just don't want to, that we can still be making progress. And that brings us to our last part, our last truth, that life is what's happening while we're busy making plans. So often we will have our plan for how we want to live, how we want to be, and how we think things are going to be. And we create these lists with these expectations, these beliefs with the shoulds and timelines, like I expect to be married by the time I'm 20. I'm going to be on the Forbes 30 under 30 list. I'm going to be a senior director at XYZ company. We have all these things that we create in our minds as to how we expect our lives to turn out. But reality cannot compete with your imagination, right? And so what generally happens is that we end up in this state of having friction. We have friction between who we are right now, who we want to be, or what we want to do, and who we're expected to be, or things that we're expecting. And sometimes they kind of agree with who you want to be and what you're expecting, and sometimes they don't. And that friction that we have makes us feel very stuck. We can feel very disappointed. So we get this space of expecting that life is going to be this nice, linear, easy progression, just a little staircase going forward, just step by step. It's gonna make progress, right? But in reality, we might end up with this, where we're going up and down and going side, because here's the thing. You see this mountain that's in this really light color? A lot of times we don't see the mountain. So in our mind, we're thinking this is a staircase, but it is not a staircase. What if the path that we're thinking we should be on, this nice, easy, linear path, if we went up the linear side of the hill, you see this really, really large cliff here. What if us taking that linear path would get us the job that we're looking for, but would not get us the time to be able to spend with our families? What if this side path here is where we're gaining skills? Where we're building networks that is going to be able to help us to take it to the next level when we get to this other stage here. What if all the things that we are expecting our life to be, or this belief in things that usually we can't even control, like you can't control when certain things are going to happen. We just can't. And that illusion that we think that, hey, it's possible, and if we just keep doing it and this is what it should be like, then things will be fine, ends up in this disappointed stage between what we expect and what we actually want. So the next attitude that we want to think about is that too much thinking will kill the thrills. We're spending way too much time in thinking of how we want our life to kind of turn out. A lot of it that we don't have control over. And that can be really freeing to kind of allow a space for life to kind of happen. So I'll tell you a story. When I started a job several years ago, I really, really, really wanted to work with this person at this position. And I didn't really like the job so much, but I really, really, really wanted to work for this manager. And 2 days before my start date, they had a massive reorg in the organization, and the manager I really wanted to work for got ousted. So they were no longer there. So I ended up starting at this job and thinking, well, I'm just going to stay as long as I can. I'm going to at least get to the year and I will be able to move on to something else after. And I ended up not being able to make it to the year. I tried as hard as I could, but it was just not a good fit, and I could not do it. And I ended up leaving. And I regretted that so much. It felt like I regretted the whole going to the job in the first place. Not the leaving, the whole going to the job in the first place. It really felt like that was a mistake. But the skills that I had acquired when I was at that job, the skills and the knowledge that I had gained was what helped me to get the job that I got afterwards, one that I really, really enjoyed. And so being able to free myself of those, oh, well, I didn't get to this stage at this point. I wanted that job. I wanted to be here. If you haven't made it to the 30 under 30 or the 40 under 40 or the 50 under 50, then my life isn't a success. It did not work. Those things, being able to release them changed everything for me. And when it came to my finances, when I was working on paying off my debt, I did not have a goal. I was so used to the old way of where people telling me I have a goal and if I haven't reached the goal, I haven't succeeded in anything. That when I was doing this round, I was like, no, thank you. I did not have a goal. My only plan was to do as good as I could today. I didn't know that at the end of it, I was going to pay off $30,000 in a year and then end up being on Good Morning America to talk about it. I didn't know any of those stuff was going to happen. My only plan was just to do well today, as good as I could do. And every day was a new opportunity to do well. I started enjoying the process. I started enjoying the steps and the path on the journey. It was no longer how fast can I get to the end, and it was now I am looking to be delighted on the journey. So that puts us for T, which says tearing up the list. And what is on your list might be completely different from what's on my list. I believe it would be, because we're all individuals. There's nothing cookie cutter about any of us in this room. So tearing up all the things that we think that if we didn't get it, this is how it would turn out. This is how it should look. We don't know anything that life is going to throw in our way, but all we can do is just allow ourselves to be delighted on the journey. So where do we start? Because it is great to have this conversation about possibilities. It is great to give you practical ideas about, hey, start looking at your obstacles, start looking at the way you think about yourself, start thinking about changing the way how you talk to and about yourself, and start cultivating these ways of being resilient and these ways of being more intentional with what we do. But what do you do with it after we come off of this chat together? Because in the huddle, we're all excited and we're all ready and, yes, let's do this. But then when it's out the huddle and we're out there in the world, we actually have to put it into practice. So how do we do that? So I like to think of this part as listening to your 3 a.m. self. So have you ever woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever time that you wake up, and it's quiet in the house, it's still dark, there are no birds that are kind of making a whole bunch of noise or anything, and you're just sitting with your thoughts, and your conscious brain hasn't started telling you all the things you need to do yet to get up and do. You are just there, and it's very peaceful. That happens to me at 3 a.m. So whatever time your self is where you can actually hear yourself think, that is your self. That is your 3 a.m. self. And during that time, I find that I get the most clarity on who I am and who I want to be and what I'm doing. So where do we start? Is get yourself into that space, whatever it takes for you to get into that space. And ask yourself just 3 things. So the first thing is, what do you want? Now, my parents had always told me, don't want things you can't have. They did to protect me so that I would not fail or go after things that I couldn't get, which is great. Thank you for my parents to do that, but it really did limit me. So being able to have that 3 a.m. self to ask myself, what do you want? And write it down. Like I wrote it down. I love journaling. So I would write down whatever it is that came to my mind. There was nothing that said, you can't ask that. That's too much. That's too bold. That's too big. How can you expect that? Whatever. I said that I wanted to write down that I wanted. And then the next question is to ask yourself, well, why do you want it? And this isn't some opportunity to kind of be like, well, tell us all about like why why do you want it? This is a part to think about what your motivations are, because we want to tease some of that out. Because some of us will set goals. We will want to do things to get something that we cannot get from that goal. So if I say, I want to be successful, or I want to become a director of whatever because I want to show my parents, I want to prove them wrong, and I want to show them that I am worthy of their affection just as much as my brother is. Your why of why you're doing it is not like, you're not going to be able to get worthiness and validation and acceptance from your parents just by doing that. And so even if you are on that path, and even if you're going there, you won't get what you're actually looking for. So asking yourself, what do you want? And asking yourself, why do you want it? Pushes you to think through on your motivations. And then you might change some of the things that you want based off of what you realize is your reasoning. And this is a time for you to be super honest with yourself. This is not I'm talking to a friend, and so I don't want them to judge me, so I'm going to say what would you like? World peace. Like, you don't have to have that answer. Be honest with yourself. And then the final question is, why don't you have it? And again, this isn't some let's beat up on Jordan day to be like, well, you don't have it because you don't work hard enough. No, it is a real question to be like, well, why don't I have it? It's because I haven't focused on it yet. Is it because I'm distracted on other things right now? Is it because I procrastinate? I sometimes can be a procrastinator. I will tell you that about myself, and I'll lay all my stuff out here. We've been talking about money and all kinds of things and goals. I feel like we're friends. I can tell you, I am very much a procrastinator in certain things, and I have to kind of look at that and think like, okay, well, why am I having a procrastinating response right now? What is it that I'm trying to do? Why? And then tease back out to start realizing, what are some of the barriers? What are some of your anchors? What are some of your roadblocks that you're going to want to think about? So that is a place to kind of get started. And that brings us to the end of our presentation on talking about grit, cultivating it, figuring out this new way of looking at it. And our new way is it's a lot more gentle. It's very doable. It's very practical, rather than saying just throw things at the wall and see what happens. And so I love this softer way of looking at grit. It might not agree with everything that you have heard and everything that culture would have us to believe, but I do believe that it helps for greater confidence. I really do believe it helps for greater peace, and it definitely helps to get you taking action to what you want. So are there any questions? I'm going to check the chat and see if anyone has any questions, concerns, comments, heart rates, or fears.
What an inspirational presentation. I didn't see any questions in the chat, and I think that your definition and approach to grit is one that can be embraced by many. It sounds as if your story is one that should be shared to many, to the masses. Someone asked about the book. Excuse my voice. The book is Atomic Habits.
Yes.
And I can't think of the author's name right now, but I can get that for you in just a minute. It's by James Clear.
Yep.
James Clear's Atomic Habits. And sometimes my brain has to be clear to get that too. Great. Did anyone have any questions or feedback or comments for Jordan? I'm going to encourage you to document your story, write your story, share it, because I think oftentimes when we think about individuals who are money experts, we hear it from a lens of I did everything right, but being able to start off where most people enter challenges, which is in college. In college is where we see a lot of people, and I am appreciative that you work with young people and trying to get them on the right path. Great presentation, and I'm still just thinking about what you have shared, which is so much in a very short period of time. I'm definitely looking at grit in a different way, a better way, a more unique way.
Great, thank you so much. And thank you everyone for your ideas and your comments.
Mhm.
especially on getting information and having to put it into action. I love chatting with folks. I even sharing my biggest ills too.
You know, it's kind of funny. Some people leverage procrastination in different ways, and I think that you have done just that. And to be as successful you are by the definition of what you've defined as success and what many of us define as success, I definitely want to celebrate you for being a powerful, unmistakable legacy leader. That's not just because of this session, but because of what I've observed you doing. Thank you so very much. Um, there are people who are asking about rewatching the presentation. It will be available on our Leadership Center website. Jenny did put that link in, so please feel free to go inside. And it's also, she just put it right there. It'll be available in about 2 weeks. We always have to make certain that it's ADA compliant before we post that. And as you have enjoyed this session, please feel free to join us next week with Dr. Martina Pong, who will be continuing a discussion about financial wealth and health. That was not planned that way technically, but it was. It is a very good segue for what she will do. Dr. Pong is our the department chair here at Franklin University and those in that area, but she's also a financial planner. So thank you once again for your time this morning. Feel free to reach out to us and let us know if you have any questions about the Leadership Center. We're here for your leadership development, both personally and professionally. Have a great and wonderful rest of your day, everyone.
Thank you. You too.